Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass, which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind.
This is our kingdom, a kingdom of righteousness. Praise the Lord. Praise ye the Lord.
For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather, seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. To the kingdom of Israel!
Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua, Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua.
The election, an aristocracy, meaning rule of the best, a group or class considered superior to others, a government by the best men in the state, a governing body composed of the best men in the state, and that's the elect. We're about to have it all right? Psalms 37 and verse 11, and it reads, "But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace." That word for peace in the Hebrew is shalom, which goes into safety, soundness in body, meaning we're going to truly have rest, welfare, health, prosperity, peace, quiet, tranquility, contentment. So we're going to fully enjoy the planet Earth. We're going to rule and exist within the Lord's creation as we were created to do. I'm ready to rule the world, man. How about you?
Let the golden light of this sunset guide our hearts in peace.
Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
The ocean spirit dances today to abundance and joy and to eternal peace.
See, this is what we're hoping for. This is part of our hope. Not only that we are members of the elect with fruits meet for repentance, like John the Baptist said, but from our lower state, because we've been brought low, even though we have this knowledge, we have this truth. Remember what it said in Revelation. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. Why are we rich? Because we're rich in faith. We have this knowledge. So our hope is at our last end, we're going to be increased. Okay? And if you ask me, the greatest riches right now is to be delivered by Yahushua is to get that new body that the Apostle Paul spoke about in 1 Corinthians 50, where we'll never be sick, we'll be immortals, like it said in 1 Corinthians 15, to be delivered from the coming destruction, and to be a part of Yahushua's cabinet in the next kingdom. Okay, those are the real riches right now. That's what we want to get. Because if you get that, you got everything. I mean, you got everything. Okay, so our sights are set a lot higher than this present world. All right, as it is written, the fashion of this world shall pass away. We are individuals of vision, and the scripture said, where an individual lacks vision, he perishes. Okay, so we can see the future. All right, and we hope that we're going to be part of it, beginning with the elect.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, and throw my honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. Well, I'm getting into this morning news and prophecy. It's prophecy unfolding for war. Okay, uproars, civil unrest and more. It's a lot going on as usual. Okay, and what we're seeing, what we'll start off with, dealing with, this war, and what we're seeing dealing with prophecy is certain things coming together, okay, that was prophesied, okay, dealing with the kings of the East, okay, dealing with, Russia, all right, being the chief guard, okay, unto these nations, and beginning with how the Lord got these nations locked in to play their role, all right, to fulfill, the will of the Lord through prophecy, man, okay, and it's going to get worse for you Americans. All right, the American military that's abroad and the American people, all right, in the land of America, man. It only gets worse. There's no good news. Okay, America is going to get the worst of this judgment. Okay, that the Lord, all right, is formulating in the earth, man. So let me turn the slide on real quick. But yeah, so let's go here. Got quite a few, videos to get into, a few things to touch upon. All right, well, let's go here first, dealing with the book of Daniel, because we're starting to see, the prophecies of our forefathers, which there's certain things that have been fulfilled. All right, and the rest of the things that haven't been fulfilled, well, they're getting ready to happen now. Matter of fact, before we get that in Jeremiah, let's get that in Isaiah 34. The while, to you brothers, all right, tuning in, add to the screen, okay, and you few sisters that listen, wholeheartedly and sincerely, may we all be blessed, and covered in these times. Now, when you go to the book of Isaiah 34:16, it says, "Seek you out of the book of the Lord and read," which are the scriptures, man. And this is why we're able to navigate, all right, the happenings and what's going on in the world, is because we have an understanding of the Bible. Okay, the Bible has all the answers, okay, of everything that matters. Okay, the things that matter in the planet Earth, where the Bible has all the answers, man. That's why wisdom and knowledge should be what? The stability of our time. This scriptures, the understanding of these scriptures, through the grace, the mercy and the goodness of our power, Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. Well, this is our confidence, man. It says, "No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it had gathered them," man. And that's a lot said, in this one precept. Okay, first of all, none of these prophecies are going to fail. None has failed thus far. Every prophecy has came to pass according to the appointed time of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. Okay, none shall want her mate. Okay, we don't need another book, all right, to give validity to the scriptures. No, the scriptures can stand alone. We can read prophecies out of this book, okay, and see these prophecies and witness these prophecies happen real time. Okay, now we go into other things and go into certain books that complement or bring out certain details. Okay, but the scriptures by themselves, all right, the Bible by itself can stand alone. It doesn't need a mate. Okay, and it says in His Spirit, all right, the spirit of this book, all right, it had gathered them. Okay, because there's a spirit on this book, and it links with our spirit. And the elect is being gathered, all right, the predestined elect is being gathered by this word in these last days, man. Okay, so let's go here to the book of Daniel, chapter 2. Okay, let's go here. This is the book of Daniel, all right, chapter 2. I'm just skimming through it. Okay, this is Daniel 2 and 19. You'll see the vision of the statue, okay, of these different empires, all right, and we're in the feet of that statue. Okay, in the days of those kings, as the scriptures say, well, we're in those days. All right, Daniel 2 and 19 said, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the power of heaven. Okay, so when you go into Daniel, the second chapter, the vision is revealed to Daniel, and ultimately the vision has been revealed to us, and we have even a more thorough understanding than Daniel did, because now we're living, all right, in the time of the 10 toes. Okay, we've seen, these other empires come and go, all right, and now we're living in the time of the 10 toes. See, Daniel was still at the head of the statue, okay, which now we're at the toes of the statue and we're living in it. Okay, and we're able to understand the whole statute thoroughly, man. Okay, and the end of it, it said, Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the Most High forever and ever, for wisdom and might are His, and He changes, all right, the times and seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. He giveth wisdom unto the wise. And so we're seeing our power getting ready. And he had to have authority within this Edomite, all right, kingdom. So we're getting ready to see our power remove kings, man. And this war is a build up to Shai, okay, remove kings from authority in the earth. You see, it says He revealed the deep and secret things. He knoweth what is in the darkness, all right, and the light dwelleth, okay, with Him. So you jump down, okay, as he's going into the dream. Okay, let's go down here, because why? We're in the legs. Okay, so let's deal with the legs. Okay, and 33 says legs of iron was, Rome. Okay, pagan Rome. But guess what? His feet that came back, part of iron and part of clay, okay, represent Rome revived. Okay, which is America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, so the feet of iron, represents the legs of iron, which is Rome coming back. Okay, during the Renaissance, man, that deadly wound that was healed. Okay, partly iron, which is partly strong, and partly clay. Okay, because this EU, NATO, American alliance was partly strong. Okay, and partly clay, partly feeble. You see, we have weak points, frail points within this alliance of America, NATO, and the EU. Okay, there's certain of these EU nations that are completely irrelevant, man, because most of the strength comes from America. All right, and that's being hammered away at, man. That's being broken down as we speak. It says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, and this stone represents Yahweh Shai, which smote the image upon his feet. That that were of iron and of clay and broke them into pieces. Okay, so this is what's next. Okay, as this war continues to escalate, all right, and these devils, attempt to roll out this new world order where it's going to lead to Yahweh Shah coming and smiting the feet of this statue, man, which is this current kingdom. Okay, he didn't smite, the legs, the thighs, the arms, the head. No, he's smiting the feet of iron and clay, man, this kingdom. Okay, it was always a build up to this kingdom in which Yahweh Shah, okay, will come and smite, okay, the kingdom of Edom, man. You see, because this is an Edomite kingdom, the iron and clay. This is an Edomite kingdom. Yahweh Shah is coming to smite. Okay, this technocracy that they're trying to, roll out, which the Lord's going to let them get to a certain point. All right, because prophecy has to be fulfilled, so they're going to get, they still have things that the Lord's going to allow them to do. Even within this war, they're still being allowed to shut down, the markets, man. Okay, to reset the global economy. Okay, to attempt to reboot. Okay, this technocracy, man. To reboot this system with a technocracy. Okay, and it says, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them, and the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth, man. Okay, so there's going to be the nukes, there's going to be Yahweh Shai and the chariot, okay, destroying, all right, this beast system, man. And America going to be completely obliterated, man, which has been the headquarters of this beast system, man. Okay, but this destruction is going to remove Esau's kingdom, all right, like chaff on the threshing floor, man. Okay, would you will burn it, and the wind will carry away, all right, the chaff, man. Describing that nuclear destruction. Okay, and the destruction from the chariots, man. So we're in, these times. Okay, these things that were spoken of, all right, of old, well, now we're living in it. Now we're living in the feet, partly of iron and partly of clay. Okay, America, NATO, and the EU. So let's go from there. Let's play this. Just get a little caught up with what's going on, because what we're seeing, and one thing about it, when these nations, when you see Iran, the American, these small hats go back at it, all right, you see the certain adjustments, that have been made. Okay, and when you deal with these adjustments that's being made, all right, we see, okay, that Iran, has made massive upgrades to their defense, okay, technology, with help from Russia and Iran, those kings of the East. Okay, we see that Iran, is starting to go on towards this AI infrastructure. Okay, which they understand that AI infrastructure plays a major part in America's ability to wage war. Okay, so let's go here just to show you, all right, that Iran is even getting that, the West, AI infrastructure, because their Starlink played a major part in, those protests going back to the beginning of the year in January. So now Iran is expanding its target list to include Elon Musk asset, Starlink sites, all right, to be bombed next by IRGC. So let's play a little bit of this.
In a stunning declaration, Iranian state media outlet Fars has officially reported that the Islamic Republic will treat all commercial operations and interests related to economic holdings managed by Elon Musk in West Asia as legitimate military targets. This decision specifically places Starlink's satellite internet network and its regional ground stations directly into Iran's upgraded bank of defensive targets. Tehran asserts that these assets have crossed the line from private enterprise to direct state accessories, serving as the hidden technological backbone for recent aggressive U.S. and Israeli actions. The tactical inclusion of Silicon Valley infrastructure is directly tied to the highly technical nature of modern American operations in the theater. State intelligence confirms that Starlink's resilient satellite mesh has played a defining role in guiding high-tech U.S. ordnance, including long-range aerial attack drones. The network provides secure, encrypted, low-latency data feeds required to operate unmanned surveillance and maritime strike vessels operating in Gulf waters. Citing an informed defense source, FARS reported that the U.S. has committed direct war crimes against Iran, utilizing these exact private networks, giving the country the absolute right to retaliate against Musk-managed holdings across the region and occupied territories. This strategic expansion follows a broader established pattern by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to counter the West's advanced technological advantages. The IRGC has previously placed a wide array of dominant U.S. tech and AI corporations, including NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, and Google, on its potential target list, stating that commercial platforms are heavily integrated into Western intelligence operations. By treating commercial communications infrastructure as an active military extension, Tehran is signaling that any electronic or physical complicity will be met with immediate kinetic deterrence.
Yeah, so we know, going back to the war, before the ceasefire, all right, the so-called ceasefire, you had, Iran, they struck, Amazon data centers, in the UAE, okay, particular other data centers that was aiding, all right, American military intelligence, man, because it's one and the same. All right, these big tech companies, the military, the government is one and the same because this is a technocracy, man. Okay, he's operating, partially in the technocracy, and the military is highly integrated, okay, with these tech companies, man. It's all the same because it's all, part of one. All right, this new government that's being rolled out. Okay, so Iran has even added that to the asset list, man. Certain data centers, man. So it's getting interesting, man. I say this next round that we're gonna see, back and forth, is getting interesting, man. Okay, so let's go from there. Let's go to. Oh yeah, because remember, the scriptures speak about the kings of the east. If a brother want to post that, let's get Revelation chapter 16. Might be a few. Let me see. Let's get this. All right. It's the book of Revelation chapter 16 and verse. Let me see. Yeah, let's go 16 verse. Revelation 16 and 12. Revelation 16 and 12. And let me play this real quick. So what you have now, America, has started to attack, all right, Indian vessels, okay, these Indian vessels, tankers, coming through the strait, because like we say that Iran has been controlling the strait. So there's been certain tankers that's been allowed to come through. They're paying these Iranian tolls, okay, and they're making deals with Iran, okay. So India has obviously, made a deal with Iran to get their oil, okay, through the strait. You see, in America, they've started to attack Indian oil, but wait a minute, India is supposed to be an ally, all right, with America. But see, what's happening, the Lord is making these nations pick a side, okay, which lines up with these alliances spoken of in the scriptures, man. Okay, we're seeing these alliances formulate and come together that was spoken of in the scriptures, man. And India is a nuclear power, Okay, it's a large military, it's formidable, it's modern. Okay, so these nations of these kings of the East, man, it's going to be a powerful alliance. All right, that's going to play its part in destroying, you see, America, man. Okay, and you small hats, all right, the IDF, man. Okay, with they trash ass. All right, so let's play a little bit of this dealing with what's going on between America and these Indian tankers.
And this time, the shockwaves, the world is watching a storm erupt on the high seas. And this time, the shockwaves are political, military, and deeply personal. Iran has stepped forward with a blistering accusation, directly backing India and leveling explosive charges against the United States after a series of deadly strikes on merchant ships off the coast of Oman. And the words coming out of Tehran are anything but restrained. Armed theft, maritime piracy. That is how Iran's foreign ministry is describing the United States' actions after American forces reportedly struck 3 commercial vessels carrying Indian crew members in international waters. A message delivered by Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Baghaei didn't just condemn the attacks, it detonated a diplomatic firestorm. He called the strikes, quote, the outcome of the U.S. government's policy of armed theft and maritime piracy. Strong words, deliberate words, words that signal something far bigger than a routine diplomatic disagreement. Because behind those statements lies a disturbing series of events. June 8th, a U.S. fighter jet targets the Marivex, a Palau-flagged oil tanker operating off Oman's coast. On board, 24 Indian seafarers. Miraculously, all are rescued. But just 2 days later, the situation turns deadly. The Setabello is struck, another tanker, another Palau flag, another crew of Indian sailors. But this time, survival comes at a devastating cost. 3 Indian nationals are killed. 3 lives lost in what Iran is now calling an unlawful act on international waters. And then, just as the world tries to process the tragedy, a third incident, June 11th. The Javir, a Guinea-Bissau flagged tanker, is struck while carrying 20 Indian crew members. Washington claims the vessel was involved in transporting Iranian oil and allegedly ignored instructions. But Tehran says something far more serious is unfolding, a pattern of aggression that threatens the very foundations of global maritime law. Iran didn't stop at condemnation. It extended condolences. It addressed India directly, and it issued a warning to the international community that silence now could normalize what it calls unlawful behavior at sea. Baghaei's message was sharp and strategic. He declared that the United States must be held accountable for actions that, in his words, threaten global peace and endanger freedom of navigation. Meanwhile, back in New Delhi, outrage is growing. The Indian government has condemned the attacks and summoned a senior American diplomat, demanding answers over the deaths of its nationals and the repeated targeting of Indian crewed vessels. India's foreign ministry spokesman made it clear these attacks must cease and end, a direct call for restraint and a return to diplomacy before the situation spirals further out of control.
Yeah, so you have America, they've attacked.
Today, we also learned that commercial vessels.
They've attacked, these 3 Indian crew oil. Now, India is very dependent on their crude oil that comes from the Strait of Hormuz. All right, so they was forced to make a deal with Iran. Okay, now America is looking at that as a betrayal. You see, and what it's doing is just pushing India, all right, closer into the arms of the umbrella of Russia. Okay, Iran and China. Okay, You see, then you have Pakistan, which Pakistan is a military, is a formidable military. They're a nuclear power, okay, which they've been mediating. So-called mediating is the deal for Pakistan. All right, that's one of those kings of the East, man. Pakistan, India, China, Russia, and Iran. America can't do nothing with them. Together, they can't do nothing with them. Okay, those five nations. Then we haven't even put Turkey in the mix, man. We haven't even put North Korea in the mix, man. Okay, but just with India, Pakistan, all right, China, Russia, and Iran, just those five, and then you throw North Korea and Turkey in the mix, man. It's over. Okay, and it's the Lord is doing this. Brother can post that in uh Jeremiah 50 and 9. Okay. So let's get this precept and then we'll segue here. Okay. You see, so the Lord is making these alliances happen according to biblical prophecy, man. Okay, and the least, like I said, they got their agenda in there, and they manipulate, all right, these events, for their new world order agenda. Okay, so certain things play in their favor for their agenda. Okay, but then there's prophecy, okay, all right, of this war. You see, it's going to surpass the agenda of the elites, man. Okay, so let's go. Got another video, and then we'll segue. Okay. But yep, as the scriptures mention. All right, this the brother servants. All right, this is Revelation 16 and 12, brother servants of Yahweh, and it says, and the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared, man. So you look at all these countries that's on the east of the Euphrates, okay, like we say Russia, China, Pakistan, all right, India, Iran, okay, Turkey, North Korea, those are the main seven, and that's a powerful alliance, man. Okay, and if America catching hell with Iran, with Russia and China assisting them with intelligence, man. Okay, it only gets worse for you Americans, man, and the American military. Okay, and the Lord said He was going to embarrass, all right, the American military. I think there's also when you go to, let's get another one in Jeremiah. Get that in Jeremiah 50 as well. All right. It's Jeremiah chapter, let me see. Yeah, let's get Jeremiah chapter 50 and 29. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 29 and 30 and 31. Baba Shah. Okay. So let's read this. Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 9. All right, this from the brother Yashima tribe of Judah. And it says, all right, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly, okay, an assembly of great nations from the north country, all right, because Russia, their northern country, is the chief prince, all right, to this alliance of the kings of the east, okay, which Ezekiel 38, plays into that as well, okay. That's where you get Turkey in the mix. And it says, for lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array and dense, all right, shall she be taken, their arrows, their nukes, okay, shall be as of a mighty expert man, none shall return in vain, man, which everyone is going to hit its intended mark to cause the intended destruction, okay, that the Lord wants, man. Okay, this is what we're seeing playing out, man. These assembly of nations where they're assembling themselves, man. They're putting themselves in array. As the scriptures say, put yourselves in array. Okay. Yeah, if a brother can post that in Jeremiah 50 and 29 too, and then we'll get that. I see the brother already got 30 and 31, which we'll get that as well. But the brother can post that in Jeremiah 50 and 29 as well. Read all three of them, man. Okay, because this is prophecy being fulfilled, man. The Lord is making good on his word. Okay, and these nations are assembling. All right, and America's actions, because America is desperate, man. Like I said, it plays into the favor of the elites, to keep this war going, to keep a disruption, of the global supply of energy. It works in their favor, okay. But there's certain things that's not working in their favor, man. And America is looking real bad out here on the global stage, man. And they're scrambling to try to save face, man. And it's only working against them, man. Okay. So when you go to the book of Jeremiah 50 and 29 says, call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. So all these nuclear capable nations, Turkey, all right, is nuclear capable. They saying Pakistan, they made it be known years ago if Turkey ever needed nukes, that they will send them nukes, man. Okay, you best believe they probably already made their transaction, man. So Pakistan is nuclear, Turkey is nuclear, Iran is nuclear, Russia is nuclear, China is nuclear, India is nuclear, North Korea is nuclear. Okay, so these archers are being gathered together. You see, all these archers are being gathered together, man. You see, call together the archers against Babylon, man. That's what's happening. You see, it says, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about, let none thereof escape, recompense her according to her work. Okay, so there's a judgment. You see, the Lord is setting the stage for judgment, man. Okay, he's going to allow these elites to play these little games and manipulate particular things and get to a certain point, then judgment gonna hit their ass, man. Okay, it says, according to all that she have done, do unto her, for she have been proud against the Lord, against the Holy One of Israel. This place has been proud. You elites and you American people, man, have waxed proud against the Lord. Okay, you see, you wax very proud against Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. Okay, Jeremiah 50 and Jeremiah 50 and 29. Let me go to the NLT. I'm gonna go 30. The brother had posted NLT. Okay. This is Jeremiah 50 and 30. This is a brother Block Hopeful Leg 144. In the NLT, it says, her young men will fall in the street and die. Her soldiers will all be killed, says the Lord. Okay. So this ain't America. All right. This ain't, because we make it seem like it's just the elites and their plan going forward. No, this is prophecy going forward. Okay, the elites plan are a part of the prophecy. You see, just like American soldiers, okay, being unalive is part of prophecy, man. Now the Lord is setting up America for failure, man, abroad and at home. Okay, they finna catch they finna get drugged over there by the alliance. The American military is finna get drugged by this alliance, all right, of the kings of the east, man. Babylon is finna get drugged all throughout, all right, their region of the earth, man. The American military, man. Okay, all them American military assets in their region can easily be touched by all them hypersonic missiles over there. North Korea got hypersonic, all right. Russia hypersonic, China hypersonic, Iran hypersonic, man. Okay, and they can touch every American military asset on the planet Earth, man, especially in that region, man. Okay, you talking about 5 to 10 minute travel time to get to any American station in that region, man. Okay, all of them American troops right there on the border of North Korea, what they call it, I think it's a 38th parallel, if I'm saying it right, brother can fact check, their border between South Korea and North Korea, man. Easy work, man. You see, It said Jeremiah 50:31 in the NLT, and it says, see, I am your enemy. All right. It says, see, I am your enemy, you arrogant people, says the Lord of heaven's armies. Your day of reckoning has arrived, the day when I will punish you, man. Okay, so America has been proud because it's been the bully of the earth for so long. Now now we're finna see the bully get bullied, and then the Lord gonna send you Howard Shot back to bully the bully. Okay, this bully in America, man. You see, we're finna see America get bullied out here, man. Okay, that's what we finna see, man. All this hype of this American military finna get bullied out here, man. This how it's finna go. Okay, it only gets worse. All right, for America, man, abroad and at home. Okay, so let's play a little bit of this.
They start discussing the possibilities of is the ultimate agenda of the people who actually manipulate Trump to crash the global economy. That's quite possible. It's absolutely possible. And then we start in more favorable terms for them. It's absolutely possible, because if it continues like this, if the escalation that started this week again continues like this.
Tell Monday what you need. We're creating an agent and naming him Tony. Now let's give him context. I'm giving Tony
the situation of the oil market and the bond market especially is going to go completely out of control. And it will be a global crash. There's no question about that.
And that's what the elites want. Okay, because they have to implement a new system. And in order to implement a new system, they have to crash this one. Okay, so even if the war is not going exactly how they want, they got to keep the war going to crash the system. Okay, because they have to bring in a new order. They have to make this technology mandatory for a new order, man. Okay, so the Lord can drop hammers on their ass, man, and get this nigga out of here, man. Okay, this gonna be their checkmate when they crash the system and mandate that MOTB. He checkmate. He has nothing else to do after that but be destroyed and judged, man. Okay, you know this fantasy of nah, man. This like this nigga gonna be the Jetsons around here. No, nigga, you finna get out of here, man. You finna get your ass out of here, man. All right, this dumbass idea of the New World Order is finna get packed up. Okay? And it's gonna be in the missiles and chariots, man. Okay? So let's play a little more, then we're gonna jump again in this video.
Trump is just once again, Nima, we all know Trump is just a grifter, a low-life street gangster employed by the people who run the show. These are the people who control the agenda and are looking long-term and are the controllers of the forever wars in West Asia and in Ukraine. And at the same time, we are seeing that these two interconnected wars, they are both on an escalation ladder. The war against Russia by NATO, especially by MI6, is going up and up. And now there are no limits. There are attacks against Crimea practically every day. Black Sea, Crimea, over the Urals, you name it. Swarms of drones everywhere. Swarms of drones against Moscow. For instance, the day that I left Moscow, my flight to Istanbul in the middle of the night was delayed for 2 hours. Why? Because there was a threat of a swarm of drones over Vnukovo airport in Moscow. And this is something that is happening now every day. It's normal.
So you have nothing but escalation with all these different conflicts. And see, all these nations are trapped in what you call, they're in the escalation trap, Russia can't go back. Okay, the Russian people are pushing pressure on Vladimir Putin to be more aggressive. Okay, with Ukraine and the EU. They're wanting war. These Russian citizens want war with the EU nations, man. Okay, they want war with America. Okay, and Putin, they're in the escalation trap, man. Okay, Iran is in the escalation trap. Iran can't go back to before February 28th. You know, that's why you see a more aggressive posture from Iran, because they're in the escalation trap. Okay, to where they're being everyone is being put in this escalation trap. America in the escalation trap, man. Everybody's in the escalation trap, man, which is the Lord controlling prophecy, man. The Lord done put hook in the jaw. So like the Lord done put hooks in the jaws of Russia. Okay, bringing them forth. Okay, ain't no going back for them. They can only go forward through Ukraine, all right, and on to Europe, man. Okay, Iran, all right, they have to be that wild boy. You see, so they have to continue, you know, to be aggressive and hard to kill. You know, when you go into a wild boar, okay, and America has to be proud, you know, and keep going forward, which is going to be their destruction, man. So everyone is in the escalation, what they call an escalation trap, but we know it is prophecy, man. Okay, so let's jump a little bit ahead because he's going to say something else, let you know that everything is prophecy driven. Okay, if a brother want to get that in the NLT too. That's Isaiah 46 and 10, Bob. So, all right, 46, 9 and 10 in the NLT Bible show. So let's play this.
It has been given a chance, the thing collapses abruptly, which is what happened these past few days. Into something very, very nasty. But it's tough, Nima. It's tough because if you look at the big picture around, if you look at how these wars are intersecting, if you look at the level of desperation of the people who run the show in the US and who run Trump and the European elites, their intersected level of desperation mounting day by day, it gets extremely worrying because we are on the razor's edge of slipping into something very, very nasty in Ukraine and in against Iran, and perhaps even simultaneously. It's very, very worrying, very, very worrying. And once again, every time that we think there are off ramps and diplomacy has been given a chance, the thing collapses abruptly, which is what happened these past few days.
The other problem, Pepe, which
it collapses abruptly. You know, every time they talk about peace, a deal, and then it collapsed, man. Okay, because that ain't what the Lord wants. That ain't what prophecy called for. Okay, so let's go here. Let me see if I have something else I want to tap into. You know, so much. Oh yeah, let's go here. You know, because you still got civil unrest. Okay. So let's go here. But let's get a few of these precepts. All right, so this is the brother Malak. Hope for leg 144, Isaiah 4:46 and 9. It says, remember the things I have done in the past, for I alone am the Most High. All right, I am the Most High, and there is none like me. Okay, and the Lord is finna show himself. All right, and that's the thing too. The Lord finna show himself to earth. that doesn't reverence him, man. Okay, he's going to make himself known to a world, a society that don't reverence him, man. And he's going to do it through judgment. The Lord is known by the judgment which he execute, man. In America, this world, this third world war is the Lord introducing himself to this society, man. Okay, that's why the climax of it is him sending his ultimate representative, which is his son Yahushua, man, our king. You see? All right, verse 40, this Isaiah 46:10 says, only I can tell you, all right, the future before it even happens. Everything I plan will come to pass, for I do whatever I wish, man. So the Lord doing whatever he wish, man. And the only reason they'll at least even get to a certain point is because the Lord wants them to get to that point within this new world order, man. Okay, not because these niggas some clever geniuses and got everything figured out. No, the Lord wants these idiots to get to a certain point, okay, so he can bring that perfect judgment, man. Okay, and this perfection, okay, on this nigga, man. You see, so let's play this because this was happening in Belfast. I think it's Ireland. Okay, the UK is one of them. All right, but this is you you got certain riots and race wars happening. Okay, over there in these EU nations, man. Okay, and it's gonna come to America, and it's gonna be way worse, man. Okay.
Because the establishment's lying, the media are lying, all the news are lying. They're saying it was a stabbing when it was a beheading. And whenever something like this happens, they tell everyone to shut up, be quiet, go home. Nothing's happened, that's what they say.
Uncontrolled mass illegal immigration via the small boats, which often are linked to many of these incidents. Now, I don't know the background of the guy that did this in Belfast, but what I do know is he is from Sudan originally. So I think people's issues is that who's coming in our nation, what's their background?
A fierce battle over the truth is now unfolding in the wake of Belfast's shocking knife attack, as protesters accuse politicians and mainstream media outlets of downplaying the brutality of the incident, while authorities continue to describe the case as an attempted murder investigation. The controversy spread far beyond the crime scene itself, with angry demonstrations reaching the streets of London as questions over immigration, public safety, and media coverage collide in an increasingly heated national debate. Dozens of nationalist protesters gathered outside Parliament in London, voicing outrage over what they claim is a failure by political leaders and major media organizations to accurately describe the shocking violence that unfolded in Belfast earlier this week. The demonstrations were triggered by disturbing footage that circulated widely on social media following the brutal attack in North Belfast, where a man in his 40s suffered significant injuries after being assaulted by a suspect armed with a blade.
Because the establishment's lying, the media are lying, all the news are lying. They're saying it was a stabbing when it was a beheading. And whenever something like this happens, they tell everyone to shut up, be quiet, go home. Nothing's happened, that's what they say. One day, mate, one day. So I'd like to see an open debate about the state of the country, the absolute dire state of the country. You know, we've got mass rapes, murders, beheadings. It's just not on. I don't feel safe.
So it's going to anarchy, man. He said mass grapes, because they talking about it was a stabbing, but then the people saying, no, that was an attempted beheading. So they're attempting to behead people in the streets, man. Okay? They say it's mass grapes, man, and all these things are coming to America, all right, times 1,000, man. Okay?
If I had to phrase it, I'm just not very happy with the state of the country and establishment, obviously of Henry Novick. We saw what happened. The police were more worried about being called labels like racist and stuff like that instead of addressing the actual problem. Well, it was actually a beheading, right? I don't know too much about it. So I don't really want to comment too much, but I just know that the media said it was a stabbing when I checked my phone this morning, but they should have really called it what it was, which was a beheading.
Okay, I ain't doing anything whatsoever.
I see it on a daily basis, a new incident. It could be another rape, another child that's been abused, another incident that's took place, another violent attack, another stabbing. And we're hearing it frequently on media channels. And last night, I saw a graphic footage that disturbed me. And it was a footage of a male on top of another male trying to saw his head off. So graphic, blood everywhere. Uncontrolled mass illegal immigration via the small boats, which often are linked to many of these incidents. Now, I don't know the background of the guy that did this in Belfast, but what I do know is he is from Sudan originally. So I think people's issues is that who's coming in our nation, what's their background?
The comments reflect a growing dispute that has emerged online, where competing interpretations of the video have fueled intense arguments over what exactly took place during the attack and whether the incident has been accurately portrayed by authorities and media outlets. Police have described the case as a brutal knife attack and attempted murder, while senior officers credited members of the public with intervening to stop the assault and potentially saving the victim's life before emergency services arrived. Video from the scene appears to show bystanders confronting the suspect, with one individual reportedly using a hurling stick as others rushed forward in an effort to stop the violence unfolding in front of horrified witnesses. The suspect, a Sudanese national in his 30s, has been charged with attempted murder and remains at the center of an investigation that has attracted national attention and intensified debate surrounding immigration and public security. A new detail has emerged in the investigation into the shocking Belfast attack, with police confirming that the Sudanese suspect charged in the case had been granted leave to remain in the United Kingdom after entering the country through the asylum system.
Yeah, man, and they're doing these things intentionally, all right, to cause civil unrest and uproars. But this is what they want. They want a purge type atmosphere. They need people divided, distracted, okay, as they're getting ready to roll this thing out. And this is more excuse, to have a digital ID, okay, AI policing predictive crime, through AI. Okay, so this devil, he wants chaos. He wants these governments to seem, incompetent. Okay, so he can roll out this new world government, man. Okay, so let's go here. And it's a spirit because I had just pulled the GNT up, 2nd Ezra 9, with the brother, posted. So that's a spirit. This Malak Hopeful Elect 144, 2nd Ezra 9 and 1. It says, he answered me. It says, he answered, consider all these things very carefully. When you see some of the signs I have told you, all right, I have told you about have appeared, and we're seeing everything appear, okay, that we was warned, all right, to watch for, man. These things are happening, man. The wars, rumors of wars, okay, uproars, earthquakes, okay. It says you will know, all right, that the time has come when the Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. Okay, so we're getting ready to see the Lord, as we said before, bring judgment on the world that he created, because this world that he created is rebellious against him. Okay, it has no reverence for him, man. So he's going to get the world's attention through judgment, man. Okay, and we're going to see people, just slide into civil unrest, man. Slide into chaos, man. Okay, violence is going to be normalized on a whole nother level. Like you said, a man trying to behead another man in the street, now whether he was an operative, well, or not. But guess what? He's setting a precedent. A precedent is being set, okay, for violence and people going into anarchy, man. These nations, these governments, these people taking over their governments and local, city officials, okay, people holding court in the streets, okay, especially when you start to take away resources, inflation, okay, these energy crisis, okay, pestilence. You got all these things happening, man. Poly crisis is in effect, man. Everything is starting to compound. Okay, Second Ezra 9:3 said there will be earthquakes, national rebellion, all right, international intrigues, unstoppable leaders, like unstable leaders. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. There will be earthquake, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders, and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, all right, when we see these things happening, you see, you will know that they are what the Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation. The beginning and the end of everything that happens in this world are clear, man. And it's clear that we in the end of this thing, man. Okay, there's no doubt about it that we reached the end of Esau's empire. We're in the time of the 10 toes, and the 10 toes are going to be judged, man. Okay. You see, America. That's why I say in the days of these kings. Okay, we can end with that. If a brother want to post that, Daniel chapter 2, okay, verses 40, 44, and make sure that's it. Okay, in the days of these kings, we in those days, man. Okay, and it's evident that this in the end, because this devil, he can't go too much further because he will destroy everything. No flesh will make it. The way this nigga moving, no flesh will make it the way that Esau, Edom is moving in the earth, man. Okay, the Lord has to intervene and get this guy out of here, man. Okay. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, Daniel 2 and 44, Bible shop. Because I say we in those times. Ain't no going backwards, ain't no going back, before. All right, because you had these certain events. The pandemic was a major sign, the trial run to lockdowns, okay, implementing of juice, the death potion, okay, the war with Russia and Ukraine, all right, they've just been moving forward. Even though you don't talk, these things aren't talked about, those things are still moving forward, man. Okay, February 28th, all right, this direct, all right, conflict, this direct war between Iran and America. Ain't no going backwards, man. Okay, everything is moving forward. Okay, the stage is being set for the Lord to fulfill, all prophecy, man. With the headline of prophecy, which is the second coming, okay, of Yahweh Shai. All right. So let me see. I might post it real quick. All right, so this is on Daniel 2 and 44. And it says, and in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So we in the days of these kings. All right, the 10 toes. America, NATO, and the EU. This is the beast system that governs the world. That has, all right, this is the highest government in this current age. Is this beast system, man? Okay, and this beast system is going digital. Okay, it's going to a technocracy, man. Okay, but now the Lord's he's setting up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, which is the kingdom of Israel under Yahweh Shai, beginning with the elect. It shall not be left to other people because it's only for one lineage of people to be in power, and that's Israelites. Okay, and it's going to break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. Okay, and our kingdom gonna stand forever and ever, man. Okay, so this is what we're seeing happening, man. This is what everything is building towards and trending towards, man. Okay, so that's the point. Lord will. All right, you brothers. Okay, and You few sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.